I love New York, I love this community, and I love to be involved in things that help this community. So how do you take a great city like New York and position it to be successful in the 21st century? When Time Warner moved out, we gutted the entire building. So you've had this iconic location with Rock Center, but we had the opportunity to take the entire interior and turn it into a brand new building. It's interesting because we're taking all these 20th century structures and finding ways to bring them in the 21st century. Pier 57 had a tremendous amount of character, but wasn't able to lease.
Pier 57 is built on top of 3 floating concrete boxes that we call the caissons. So these boxes were built in a man-made canal in Poughkeepsie, New York. So they were floated down in the river, placed where Pier 57 is now, and then sunk into the river. But as the building was built, they slowly pumped the water out of the boxes so that by the time the building was done, the boxes were once again buoyant. So this building rests on top of a floating foundation. And as far as we know, it's the only building of its kind that was ever built. There is not a space like this in the entire city.
You had this incredibly unique structure that goes out into the Hudson with incredible views. Great location, great bones, but just needed the imagination to bring it to the next level.
We're about 30 feet underwater right now. The first time I ever came down here, it was like the movie Lord of the Rings, like when they're going into some ancient fortress under the mountain.
You were waiting to see if you were going to get out.
With all the columns.
It's amazing. Amazing. When you toured the building, I remember walking through Martha Stewart's space, and you realized that it was the authenticity of things like the windows, the unfinished floors, and that sense of character that it had that drove people to want to be here and be creative. And that was really the inspiration to say, let's try to upgrade it organically, but maintain that sense of character. The Helmsley building is an iconic building. It was built by the New York Railroad, and at the top has this beacon. And when it was built, it was sort of the beacon of hope. When people came to New York, it was in the center of New York. You saw this beacon of hope light up.
When you're trying to preserve the historic, while building a new structure that's going to be 280 feet tall and needs modern foundations with modern engineering, it becomes much more meticulous, time-consuming, labor-intensive. It's more of a challenge, and if you find a challenge fun, it is more fun, but you have more sleepless nights at the same time. I think you need to ride the experience, wherever it's taking you, and try to guide it where it's appropriate, but don't try to swim upstream and don't try to go to a place where it's unnatural to go. It's like you draw the set of blueprints, then you start opening up walls, then you start opening things, and all of a sudden the building's drawing the blueprints for you. They're erasing what you wrote, and then a user comes in, right, plays out the garbage,
and I want something totally different, rip everything out.
Exactly, that's what we were saying. That's what we were saying. These are irreplaceable assets. You can always build a new building. You can't always build a new building in Rock Center. You can't always build a new Pier 57. You can't always build a new Starrett Lehigh. We're in a world of supply and demand. If you own something like that, you're going to be in a much better position than just building something new where someone else could build the next new thing next door to it.